A child named Lem5 of my M39 wife's F39 is making me angry. It turns out that this post is about me. It was me and my ex-wife, who is now 39. We had 2 sons together, 7 and 9. She had an affair that led to the end of her marriage, as well as a 3rd child. We're going to call him Max. This is something I've been thinking about for a while. I have to say that reading the recent post by has made me want to write this. There are a lot of things that I want to talk about with parents, but I'm going to start by talking about how we had an affair, and how it made us doubt our relationship. In about a week, my wife came clean to me about the affair. You know, for a week, I was really excited about what I thought was going to be my child. It turns out that it wasn't that bad, but it was a lot of work for me. There was a chance that I could have worked through the infidelity, but I told her that she had to end the pregnancy. She was against abortion on a philosophical level. I also knew this. In that case, she did what was right. My marriage began to fall apart, so I started a divorce. Since then, she has married her love. As far as who has custody of our sons goes, there was a time when there was a lot of fighting and opposition. When Max was a baby, I took the boys. I wanted full custody of them, but I wasn't going to be able to get it at the time because I was so emotionally hurt. And even though we broke up, I came to the conclusion that it was in my son's best interest for them to have their mother in their lives today. To everyone else's surprise, my ex and I are still working together to raise our son. Our 2 sons have been with us for the last 2 years, and we've each had 1 week with them and the other with the other. Max will be old enough to go to the same school this year. About a month ago, I was sat down by my ex, her partner, and all 3 of their kids. They all want Max to go back and forth with the boys every week and live with me 50% of the time. There are some good reasons for it. The 3 boys are friends and brothers, even though I don't like it when I have to split them up all the time. This could lead to bad consequences for them. Because my ex talked about it with the boys before I did, I'm mad at him. But it's also a good thing for the boys to have an opinion on. I thought the same. I didn't know what to say. No. Because it's a good idea. Because I don't like that Max exists, I can't say what I think about him. So I agreed. I really don't like him. He doesn't deserve to be here. I know this. I know that he isn't to blame for how he was born, but that doesn't make him any less of a reminder of all the bad feelings I've ever had. His 2nd week with us and the boys is almost over. I'm coming to the end. This means that we have moved him into my house. We have also made room for him. I don't like how his voice sounds. If he needs help in the kitchen, I get angry at him right away because I don't help. Because he can't do things that are normal for a 5-year-old, I'm always angry. As a parent, I would never be angry with my sons because I'm short-tempered and just get excited when I feel angry. In the last few years of my life, I've felt like I've been on a carousel of humiliation and degradation. Herman, no matter how real my grievances are or how justified I am in my anger, I can't let myself get into a rage. I have to hold my tongue breath deep and do the thing that will actually help me and my sons, even if I don't want to do it. So, I keep in touch with her mother on a regular basis, and I've talked to her politely about the things I've talked about with her as well. Now that I know it's not legal for me to keep him out of my son's lives. So far, the only thing about me that we're happy about is that I have been polite with Max's father. But maybe I should have been more polite, because in Max's presence, that pragmatic argument isn't enough. As if the anger I put aside through sheer force comes back at me all at once and takes over. I need to talk to him. In my mind, I thought it was the right thing to do. If I had been more aggressive and negative, I wouldn't have ended up in this situation at all. What do I do when I can't stop thinking? This is not going to work for me. I want to say no, I can't. I'm sorry, but how can I explain that? Nobody else will be happy with that. There's no way the boys can figure out why they should be treated differently because of their looks, so they're not sure why. When I was angry, my oldest told me that their mother and her partner would be angry. This made me both proud of him and ashamed of my own anger. A part of me doesn't care and bitterly thinks that this is a way for them to get some free time, but I'm not going to think about that. part of me remembers how long she lied to me and how much I trusted her. My ex says this is in the best interest of the kids, but I remember how much I trusted her. It looks like the only thing I can do is the same thing I've done before. Get over yourself and your anger. But if I do that, I'll have to do it. Whether or not I'm being a good babysitter right now, he should be able to live in a home where he is loved, not just tolerated. Is that possible? I might be able to. It scares me that I won't be able to break out of this deal and have to accept that I'll have to get over it. As a result, I don't move on from it. Instead, I stay angry about how my life has turned out and take it out on people who don't deserve it. Hey, everyone. It's been a while since you heard from me. I think I'm in a good place to get paid now. So my post got a lot of attention, and it was mostly agreed upon. I heard from a lot of people, including parents and their kids and their kids. People who had been cheated on. Those who were maxing out their own families told me what? I should have been able to admit that this was not normal, that no one else had ever heard of an arrangement like this, and that we were ending the arrangement. I told my ex-wife and her partner a few days after I wrote that I was in the middle of their custody week, and that we were ending the arrangement. Many people told me to talk to my boys about it at first, but I wanted to deliver the message before I had to tell them. In my mind, I thought it might be better to call them out on their behavior and try to get them to agree with me, rather than to start a conversation with the boys before me. We can then sit down with the boys. The meeting didn't work out. They were both pretty angry with me. I tried to prepare for it to be uncomfortable. I told myself just to be polite. When they asked me why, I didn't have to explain it to them. Sorry. It doesn't work out. It looks like he's made a move in his job because of the schedule that he kept. In retrospect, I do think I was a little bit to blame for that frustration, and that I wish I had never agreed to this arrangement in the first place. This man had a good work-life balance. But at the time, I didn't give a lot of thought to this. I was very angry when he said that I wasn't being fair and that they just wanted a fair custody arrangement. I'm typing this all out and my heart is pounding because I'm so angry about it. I have different views on this. I told both of them things that were very bad. And then we were all screaming at each other for a while. Stormed out and didn't talk to the boys. It took me a few days before I could talk to my boys again. They asked right away why Max wasn't with them. I also made sure I had a more serious talk with them than I had up until this point. This is why I was ready for it. I talked about how it's great that they enjoy spending time with Max, but then on their father, which is even better. His father will spend the Max. This whole thing is hard for me. I don't like having to see them only once a month, and I don't like that their mother decided to start a new family with Max's father. Max still makes me cry. This is hard to talk about. I've been very strict with myself about not telling my sons about their mother up until now, but that's meant I haven't talked about her or our break-even point with them. If you can't say anything nice, as they say, you should try to keep that respect for their mother. Trying to do both at the same time is a tightrope that is hard to walk. In this case, I don't want to blame their mother, but I also don't want to blame their mother. When something is unfair, you should not say anything. It was poisonous to my sons when I made fun of their mother, who was my ex. That means I have to talk about the current situation and what happened to get here in a way that doesn't make fun of their mother, and I have to act like this is the norm. She said, I think I did a good job of handling the conversation. My son has learned it better than I have. It's been a few weeks and things with them are mostly back to normal. I've had a few short talks with my ex since we made a big mistake. The thing is, I kind of want her to apologize for this whole thing, but also know that I'm not doing myself any good by waiting for her to do that. Because I said things that made her angry, I think she still doesn't like me very much. Or maybe I'm just projecting because that's what I feel guilty about. That was also the last time I did that. Max, I talked to you before I dropped him off. What do I know? I don't know. I think his mom has told him that she misses him too much to have him away from her every week. I don't know how long that story will last when I read it again. My last post has made me feel bad about how I talked about Max. That person doesn't deserve my long-term wrath. He's not going anywhere. So we'll have to be able to adjust to his presence. I'm sure I'm holding on to a lot of anger. That is about my ex. But she isn't obligated to give about that, and I'm obligated to interact with her politely. So I guess that anger just got set aside and then vented on a Max just because he was there in my face, but that was my own fault. So I kind of think things will go back to normal from now on, but that will be a little more relaxed than they are now. Thanks to almost everyone who commented or reached out.